Hello! I'm Kasper,
And I'm Albin.
and we are very happy to be here today to talk to you and to play for you. And we just played this very cool piece called Modem by Swedish composer and percussionist Johan Söderholm. It was initially written in 2016 for and premiered by Swedish percussion soloist Johan Britger and Scottish percussion soloist Evelyn Glennie, who incidentally has done a very nice TED Talk. So today we're just going to talk to you a little bit about why we think this piece is very cool.
Yeah, first of all, I want to talk about some of the different techniques we use when we play this piece. For example, we play some on the edge of the drum to create this more metallic sound when we play, and it still differentiates here in the pitch of the drum, even though it's on the rim. And sometimes we use our fingers to play to create a much smaller and quieter sound as well. You can hear the difference if I play with the drumstick. And a cool thing we do with our elbow when we play is that we push down the drum skin to tighten it as much as possible to create a much more higher pitch when we play. Just like that. And then my favorite thing is when we take one of our fingers and drag it across the skin of the drum to create friction between the skin and the finger. So, and then it vibrates and it creates a sound. Just like that. And as you can see, we share the same setup, and we call this a setup. It's a bunch of different instruments that is written just to this piece. In our case, we have 4 bongos, 2 toms, and a splash. And we also have a hi-hat and a snare drum. We're going to use them later. This creates some advantages, but also some challenges when we play. It's very easy to transport, and it doesn't take so much space when we play, which is great. And then it gives us the opportunity to communicate incredibly well. Because when I look at the scores, we see each other, and we look at the drums, we still see each other very, very good. And some challenges, though, are when we play and we move across the kit together in different directions, we can knock our sticks out of our hands. And we don't really want that to happen, because then we just have to play the rest of the piece with one stick. And also, we want to play as much as possible to sound like one person. So we really have to play in the same style and energy at all times. Because we play mostly in a thing called unison in this piece, which means that we play the same rhythms at the same time. And then it really requires us to have great communication when we play, to play as good as possible. But sometimes we play in a thing called polyrhythms.
Yes, I'll just explain to you what a polyrhythm is. So a polyrhythm can be defined as 2 or more independent rhythms being played at the same time. For example, we can have 2 beats of equal length being played at the same time as 3 beats of equal length. We have 1, 2, 1, 2. Then we add our 3 beat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yes. And that's a very basic polyrhythm. They can be much more complex. You can do 5 against 2, 9 against 7, 13 against 83, I suppose. But the more complex ones are not that commonly used. A very cool thing you can do with polyrhythms, though, is what's called metric modulation, which I've used a little bit in the piece I've written, which we will play for you in a minute. It's a piece inspired by Modem. It uses the same setup, and I've taken some of the ideas and expanded and varied upon them. But metric modulation. You may know tonal modulation from Eurovision, where it's traditionally at the end of a song, they will repeat the last refrain, but put everything up one whole note. Yes? In metric modulation, you interpret the underlying pulse to change the tempo so it becomes faster or slower. So we take our example from before. We have our 2 beat, 1, 2, 1, 2, and we add our 3 beat, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now we remove the 2 beat, and now we interpret this as the new 2 beat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes? So we have a much faster tempo. You can try to listen for that in the piece. It comes a couple of places. And one last thing I want to say is that, as Albin said, in Modem we play a lot of unison, so playing at the same time. I've taken that and I've moved us, if you can see my hands here. So we play right after each other instead, which is something we call splits. So we play the same, so example, I play this rhythm a lot, and Albin actually plays the same rhythm, but just slightly later. Sounds like this. Yes, to create a longer rhythmical structure. Yeah, very nice. That's all we're going to talk about. I just need to put this here. That works. Yeah, now we will play this piece for you. Brand new, premiere. It's called Talking to Two of Ted's Exes.